Hello everyone. Hope you're all good. It's been a long time. I've been on YouTube and I'm so excited to be back again. I just had to do this video. It's just been a long time. I just thank God for His grace and His mercy and for the opportunity to be doing this video. I'm truly grateful to God. So God has laid, of course, so many um, topics on my mind and everything. Pardon the lighting, but lightning here. My voice and everything I'm going to say is the most important. So if you cannot see me well, do not worry yourself about it. As long as you can hear me well, I'll try to be loud so that you can hear me well. So today I'll be talking about, as I said, so many topics that God has laid in my heart, but I just need the grace to always do my videos consistently. Yes. So today I'll be talking about how to know God's leading for you in marriage. Of course, which also means that how to know His will for you. That means the will for you in regards to who God is leading you to get married to. Yes, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Coincidentally, it actually this topic is coming the right timing of my anniversary, and I thank God for His mercies and His grace upon our lives. Yes, wedding anniversary. Okay, so I'll be in between somewhere in this video. I'll try not to make the video too long, but somewhere in this video I'll be talking about how I met my husband briefly. I will not be boring you with too much stories, and how I knew. The basic thing actually I wanted to pick out from there is my own personal way of God speaking to me. If you can pick one or two things from that, and another thing I would like to say in the beginning of this video right now is the fact that definitely this video is actually for those that are single looking up to God for their spouses. And most people are always like, oh, how do I know? I'm confused. How am I supposed to know? And I know that the things you're going to be hearing today are things that probably you've heard before, but God has a way of always making always speaking to us in through different means. This time around God might speak to you and maybe to pick up something from whatever God has to say to you. Okay, and another thing I want to say, which is of course, which is important, is that by the grace of God, this video actually um, is directed to daughters and sons of God, daughters of the Most High God, sons of God, people that want to put God in their business, people that are interested in making God their all in all, in putting God in everything that they are doing. Because you know that we all know that we will have choices, right? So this video is not for someone that is saying, I want to pick my own spouse myself. Or when I pick it, then pick him or her, then I will not get introduced to God. God is what we have picked, though. I did not call you to the matter. Yes, there are people like that, and God is not going to force anybody. We all have our choices to make, right? Even though he's our creator, but he has given us choices. That means you can decide on, oh, even if he has created us, doesn't mean that he will force us to love him or he will force you to live a life that will make you get to heaven. You still wants us to be able to make our decisions ourselves. So this video is more for people that are okay. I know that everybody has to make the decision themselves, but someone that call God and say, God, okay, it's time for me to pick my spouse. I want you to help me to make the right decision. You still do it yourself, but God would help you. That means you put God in the matter, because only God that sees and knows and can reveal things to you that you cannot even use your physical eye to know. Yes, so those are the people that I'm actually referring to in this video. So that's it basically. So in regards to what I just said now, the Bible talked about trusting the Lord with all your heart. I mean, trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He would direct your path. You can see that in Proverbs 35-6. So, what it means that before you can even put God in whatever you're doing, number one, you have to trust God. That means you trust the fact that God, I want you to be involved in this thing. You are my God, and I trust you about every decision that I want to make in life. Then when you trust him, acknowledging him means that you are putting him, you want him to be involved, as I said. You acknowledge him and you call him and say, God, please, I'm trying to make a decision. Come and help me make a decision. Reveal to me, speak to me, let me know. Right? Okay. Then he said, in all your ways, acknowledge him. That means not even in each of marriage, everything. I'm talking about this now, but everything about our lives as children of God, we should always acknowledge God and put him in everything that has to do with us. And he said he would direct our paths. That means if you call God to help you, because I've heard people saying that you can pick whoever you want to pick yourself, and you don't have to. God does not have to do anything. There's a difference between it, though. You can pick, of course, whoever you want to pick yourself, but you can ask God to help you to pick, and God will help you. God will not say, no, I won't help you. You can ask God about anything about your life, and God would help you. You still be able to make a decision, but God will help you to direct you in the right path, because you're talking about God here. You cannot be better than God. You cannot know more than God, your creator. So he's the best person we can actually call for anything, for him to help us about the decisions of our lives. So he said, and when you call on him, when you acknowledge him, he said he will direct your path. He will direct your path. That's the direction I'm going to today, about calling God, putting God, making God in charge, and letting him direct your path to make decisions about marriage. Okay, so that's that. Before I go to 6 minutes already, okay. Before I go to the few points that we're going to be explaining now about how you're going to know God's will for you, it's leading for you in marriage. I will talk briefly about myself. So when I met my husband on Facebook, and when I met him on Facebook, he wasn't the first person I seen. By the time I was meeting him, I had more than 1,000 friends already on Facebook. So it wasn't like that was the first request I was receiving from anybody. So my mind did not even go there. I just received his request like every other request that you're going to receive, I didn't put my mind to anything at all. I just picked him. One of the reasons why I even picked him was because I have this soft spot for my alumni people, Bowenite people. Hi. So I always like try to accept Bowenite people. Here you get. So when I saw it, it wasn't the only one I ever accepted that was a Bowenite that day. I did other people. And he messaged me and he was like, thank you for accepting my request. He wasn't the first person that would ever say thank you for accepting my friend's request. And I said, thank you too, which is not also the first time I'll ever reply anybody and say thank you to. So from there, we started talking about furthermore. Then before I get to that stage, before you got to that stage at all, of course, I was already of a marriageable age. I wasn't old, but this age it was already, I was already okay for me to get married and know who I'm supposed to get married to at least. So I've started praying about it ahead of time. And before then, I was already I was engrossed in things of God. I knew how God speaks to me, and I knew how I wanted God to speak to me about marriage for confirmation. Like I wanted Him to speak to me through His Word. I didn't want anything that would be like, okay, maybe that was from Satan or something that I know that is definitely from God. I didn't want any other form, and I didn't want any other person confirming something for me that I would not confirm myself first. I wanted to be personally convinced about it before anybody even gets involved. So before that time, I was already praying about it, and then God has already given me some things, because something about life is that when you're praying to God about things, there's no how God will reveal things to you already. So before that time, I was already seeing some signs, and I knew already some things I was going to look out for, and some things that was going to align, and I'll say, oh yeah, God actually said this, just that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of prayer going on already. I had friends I prayed with. I was praying myself and everything. And I was just praying because I needed to pray about that. I'm praying about every aspect of my life, putting it in God's hand. I wasn't focused on it. I wasn't like thinking about it day and night. I was just myself, trusting that at the right time it would happen. And when it happened, I was not even right in my house. So I did not even go anywhere. I don't usually go out. Either I go to church or I go to school, or I was running my master's program there. So when I go to school, I go to work, or I go to church, or I'm always online, probably doing one prayer program or the other. That was how my life was. Nothing else. I don't go anywhere. I don't go to parties. I don't say I want to go out to meet anybody. I don't meet people. I don't even have friends. I was back in my house. So it met me right inside I remember that day, I was right inside the house. I didn't know what I was even doing. I was right inside the house that day when he messaged me. So by the time we became close, I noticed that he was so serious about this friendship. He was always calling me every time, every day. We'll talk for hours. So before he went too far, I went to 3 days. I prayed for confirmation because I was like, okay, fine. I don't have to do that for everybody. But this person's already like calling me every time, every time. And I cannot just be having someone around me with that direction. Do you get? Because I was already of a marriageable age. So I wasn't just, I didn't just want to just make friends for just making friends. I had enough of friends. So I wanted someone that, if you are close to me, let me know what it is. I think if you check on me once in a while, it's okay. But if you're going to be calling me every single time, you're always my space, always my time and everything, I have to know what this is leading to. So I prayed about it before it went too far, and I'll be clouded with my own maybe thoughts and everything. And God spoke to me directly. I can remember everything that God said to me through His word. It was so clear. There was no comma, there was no turning to it. God spoke to me, and it was very clear about it. Then, in the midst of like when we became friends and we were talking more often, I noticed that there was peace. I had more peace about. I was also calm, and even no matter what God showed me ahead, about our relationship and marriage and all that, there was also much peace, which is very important. You must have this, and I saw that there was a difference because there are people that you might have met and think, okay, this is going to relate to something or something, and you can just have peace about it. You just knew your spirit as a child of God. You just know God will just talk to you. This is not the person. No matter how much you like this person, this is not the person, right? So in a way, I just knew that, okay, this is the person because I had a peace. I had peace that I had never even felt before. I was so sure. And God didn't just leave me alone and say, okay, I've confirmed it once. In the midst of the journey, as we became friends, God was just confirm. Confirmation was just coming left, right, center, everywhere. Even using other people to also confirm and everything. So it was really strong. And that's just the way. When you the right person, when you meet the right person, you would know. You definitely, as a child of God, and you're very close to God, you would know. So okay, let's just leave that and get to the points that I wrote down. So number one, I said you must have and yes, from that experience, I realized that God makes all things beautiful, as He said in His word. He said He makes all things beautiful in its time. So God's timing, He will make everything perfect for you. If you are waiting on God for your own spouse, don't worry. Just focus on God. At His timing, my timing may not be yours. Most people's stories are not even the same thing. We don't even have the same stories. So everybody's story is unique and different. So God would always make everything beautiful in His time for you. So don't worry about anything. So that's Ecclesiastes 3:11, right? Then you must have a relationship with God. That's number one. And hear from Him. Be very prayerful. Yeah, so my connection with Him wasn't just like ordinary. There was a lot of prayers that had gone ahead of time. So it was like a divine connection. But anytime I think about it today, I'm like, how did this happen? How did it happen? Because you have met so many people that didn't even connect, not lead anywhere. How did this happen? So it was not ordinary. You may think it was ordinary, but it wasn't ordinary, right? In the spirit realm, something had happened, something had shifted. Do you understand? So it was a divine connection, it was God's grace, God's favor. Do you understand? That was what made that connection to happen the way it happened. Yeah, so you must have a relationship with God and hear from Him. Be very prayerful. Have a relationship. Be focused on God. Forget about every other thing. Just focus on God. Focus on your relationship with God. Get to know God. Get to know how God speaks to you. Because if you don't even focus on that, if you're focusing on using your own physical heart, you will still be going around square one. Because you'll still be getting confused. You'll still be saying, how will I know? How will I know? It's not the issue. The issue is that don't forget about how you know. The most important thing is for you to be close to God. Then you see how you would know. Then you must have the spirit of discernment. You must be able to discern. Some people around you are not for you. I just thank God for how God helped me because I met so many people, but they were not bad people. I'm sure. I mean, fortunately, almost everybody, I can't even pick up one person that I met that was bad. Everybody I met were reasonable people, good people, responsible people, but they were not the ones. Do you understand? So, but God has a way of showing me. Sometimes I'll meet them, they're good people and everything. I'm like, oh, this person is really nice. And God will just show me clearly, don't waste your time. He is not the one. And it will be so clear. I will see it very clear. And sometimes God will be telling us something. We'll be feeling like, oh, God, maybe it's not God. Maybe it's my mind. Maybe it's my spirit. Maybe it's one demon. God, when God tells something, you know. So when you know it's not good, just leave it. No matter how that person is catching your eye, no matter that person is fine, just let it go. Let it go. And just trust God that God has a reason for everything. Do you understand? And so you must trust God with all your heart. You must really be able to trust God with all your heart. When trusting God with your heart means that even when God speaks to you about somebody and you're like, oh God, you must be able to trust that God has good plans for you. And sincerely, God will not give you something that you know like. At the beginning, you might feel like, not just because of your own fleshy desires. God doesn't even have car. This person has only one shoe. This person asking, but you must be. I was saying something recently. I was like, when you see throwback pictures of maybe some of these men of God that are really rich now and everything, and they're doing so well for God, and you see the throwback, you see some of them, you see the way they look like, I'm like, these women, I give them kudos. Those women were able, they had insight. They saw the future of those men. They saw that these people were going, they knew who they were. They were not looking at the one shoe they had then. They were not looking at the way they were dressing one shirt. They were not looking at the fact that they didn't even have car, they didn't even have bicycle. They saw the future. As women, as men, you must be able to see. Oh, don't use your physical eye. Don't say the person that does not have money today will have money tomorrow. The person that anybody comes to me and you're using physical sense to say, maybe I don't think this person is, he does not even have this. So I say, that one is out of it. Don't even talk about that one. The most important thing is for you to know if God is leading you to this person, or if God is saying it's this person. So don't use physical height to say, oh, because he has only one shoe, he's not your husband. Because he has only one. No, that's not the way God works. The most important thing is that this person for you. Trust God, go ahead with it. And moreover, if you open your heart to God, you will see how much you love the person. You will see how much you will support the person. You will see how much God is going to place so much love in your heart towards this person. God will not force you to marry someone that you're not attracted to, you don't like. Do you understand? So most times it's always from us. If it's really God's will, it's from you. You know that in your mind you like the person, but the thing that is doing you is the fact that you want someone that has the latest car. That's what is happening to you. Not that you don't like that person, not that you don't like his personality, but you don't like the fact that he does not have money. That's what is happening to you. So that's why we must open our hearts. We must trust the God with all your heart. You must be able to discern. Some people will not look like people like they will not look like they have any. But hey, they are looking at them like they're not ordinary people. They are great men. They are great women. So you must be able to see and see beyond the physical. Very, very important. So when you meet your spouse, you would know. Okay, I jumped something. Be patient and know that God has plans for you. God has good plans for you. Be focused. Leave every other thing. Just focus on God. Focus on everything that you're doing for God. Focus on your work on God. Get involved in the things of God. You know, above all, right? Heaven is the ultimate. Nobody's taking a marriage to heaven. Heaven is the ultimate. So the most important thing for everybody is your relationship with God. Your relationship with God is the ultimate, is the most important thing. You must know who you are. You must know your purpose. You must know the reason why God has called you. Single days are one of the most beautiful time. I'm telling you. You are on you and God, no distraction, no child, no this no God help us, no excuse of one excuse another. I'm taking care of my husband, I'm doing this, my children, no, nothing. It's just you and God. No rush. Love God. Focus on God. Work for God. By the time you get married, you will continue. You will know already what you are called for. You know already what God has called you to be and what God has called you to do. Do you understand? It's not when you get married, you don't start looking for your direction. It's going to be difficult for you to start gathering yourself with so much responsibilities already. So the single days are wonderful time. You have like a long time to get married. Do you understand? So you must cherish those times. I really my single days. I always talk about my single days. I just loved the way I was just and I just thank God for everything. I think that at the right time, for that time, I had known my direction, and I'm grateful that even after marriage and everything, even though it took me time to settle and starting, but I knew already what I wanted to do. I knew already things I started doing already. I just continued in that path. Do you understand? So that's why it's very, very important to find out who you are and be focused on the things of God. And in the midst of all that, just be lost serving God. In the midst of all that, God will bring the right person your way. Do you understand? So I said when you meet your spouse, I keep telling somebody. Person was like, anytime person talks to me about he's a guy. Anytime talks to me about this, he's always like, I don't think it's this person. I said, if you meet the person, you would know. You would know when you meet this person. If you are still doubting, you've not met the person. If you meet the person, you would know. And you sincerely, hi. When he met the person, I keep asking, are you oversure? As a child of God, when you meet the person, you would know. Don't worry about it. Be personally convinced. Very, very, very important. I'm not saying you should not ask anybody to, they can confirm what God has. But when you don't know something and you're saying someone should be confirmed, it's because you must be personally convinced about everything that God told me. I have them like this. I have them written down. I know what God said every time that what God said. So you must have your own personal conviction. You must not rely on the guy's conviction. You must not rely on what he said. Even as a lady, You must have your own personal conviction. You must know what God is telling you about that marriage, about that man. Do you understand? So as a man too, you must not say, oh, okay, she said that God revealed to her. You must know, because marriage is a serious thing. Marriage is a big deal. Marriage is not a joke. So you must know that God is actually leading you to this person. You must personally convince yourself. Very, very important. So study God's word. Beloved, study God's word. It's in God's word that God will talk to you. I'm telling you, God speaks through his word easily. You see it flowing. You see the Spirit of God. You see it connecting. So study God's word. Pray and study his word. Study his word. Study his word. Like eat it, swallow it, digest it, you yourself turn to Bible. You will see the way God will be speaking to you. You see, someone cannot come near you and be deceiving you. Before they will say 2 words like this, that day, just go and study the word of God. You just see the answer. You just know when someone is. You just know. You don't be cracking your brain. How will I know if this person is disturbing? This person is saying the truth. All those people that are liars, God will reveal them to you. Like you see them like book. You don't be seeing them like this. Seeing them like this. When the right person comes, you will know straight away. God is, in short, is awesome. Is really awesome. That's the time as Christians, we just need for grace, God's grace, to give us the grace to be, to spend time with God, to pray, to study His Word. In short, when I do this kingdom release prayer that I do every Sunday, I'm always like, God help us, give us, sometimes we say this, the flesh is weak, the spirit is willing. May God help us, may God strengthen us, may God give us the grace to spend more time, to have a deeper relationship with him. Very, very important. God is truly awesome. Yeah, and remember, beloved, I'm going to be ending right now. Remember that he makes all things beautiful. Beautiful in his own time. In his own time, he makes everything beautiful. And God has great plans for you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. The thought he has towards you are the thoughts of good and not of evil, to give an expected end. God is awesome and he loves you. God bless you. Bye-bye.